The collapse of national security architectures in countries such as Iraq, Libya, Syria, and Afghanistan did not happen overnight. In each of these nations, extremist groups exploited a combination of internal weaknesses, political divisions, compromised security structures, and ideological sympathies within critical state institutions. Similar patterns were seen in the rise of groups like ISIS, the Taliban, and Hezbollah, where internal fractures made governments vulnerable to extremist takeover. Nigeria faces a comparable challenge. Groups such as Boko Haram, ISWAP, bandits, and other violent non-state actors have operated for years with increasing sophistication. While the contexts differ, a core similarity with the nations that collapsed is this. When elements within government, political structures, or security institutions covertly sympathize with or protect violent extremists, national security becomes nearly impossible to sustain. In several countries that were overrun, internal actors placed ideological or personal loyalties above constitutional duty. Once this happens, government responses become slow, reactive, and deliberately weakened. No nation wins a war against violent extremists by relying solely on defensive tactics. A state must be willing to act proactively, decisively, and consistently to degrade the operational capacity of insurgents. Israel provides a contrasting example. Surrounded by hostile groups, it has survived largely because it does not allow extremist organizations to rebuild or regroup. It responds swiftly and offensively, ensuring that threats are confronted before they grow into existential dangers. This model shows that survival often depends on decisive and sustained counter-terror action. Back home, Nigeria's struggle has been prolonged partly because individuals who genuinely confront violent groups are often undermined, whether through political pressure, targeted hostility, or sudden removal from office. Past military leaders and security experts have spoken publicly about internal obstruction, lack of political will, and conflicting interests within the security architecture. One soldier returning from counterinsurgency operations recounted how his team once had a clear opportunity to neutralize insurgents, but were ordered not to engage unless attacked first. Similar stories have emerged from other deployed troops. A nation cannot defeat violent extremists if its forces are restricted from taking initiative, even when intelligence and opportunity align. Nigeria possesses the intelligence and military capacity needed to restore security. What is lacking is a unified national resolve, free from internal sabotage, political calculation, or ideological bias. When extremist actors are allowed to strike repeatedly before the state responds, communities suffer preventable tragedies. To avoid the fate of nations that fell to extremist groups, Nigeria must urgently strengthen internal security integrity, ensuring that individuals within government and the military who sympathize with or protect violent actors are identified and removed. Adopt proactive and preventive military strategies rather than waiting for attacks before responding. Confront the ideological, political, and economic networks that enable violent groups. Seek international assistance where necessary, especially from nations with strong counter-terror capabilities and no internal conflict of interest. Nigeria cannot afford further delay. A nation divided in its resolve cannot win a war requiring absolute unity.